What's up, you beautiful, beautiful people? How are you doing today? You're on phone trying to cool off Pete's PC. It got hot, too hot in the shed. You live in the shed, North? Come on, man. Don't be making me feel bad like that. So, guys, it should be much cleaner today on the setup. Yes, sir, Bob. Um, it is what it is, man. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, my dude. You know? It's all right. Other than that, how's everybody doing today? Hey, hey, hey. What's up, Ozman? Zach, the Z. No, I just left my PC. Why is your PC in the shed? Well, you know what? None of my business. None of my business. It's okay. It's all right. So today was actually a pretty slow day, guys. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, I've been looking for topics to talk about, and it's just been interestingly enough, absent of any real, true. No, I don't want Newsweek to send me notifications. There have been worse days, better days. Um, it is what it is. Got my handy dandy Spider-Man shirt on, so you know. Um, but yeah, it's just been crazy. I mean, Russia's losing ground to Ukraine. The same fronts are there. They haven't moved much. Um, thank you, appreciate it. Um, I don't have much for you guys. It's just sort of a stalemate. But let's talk about the channel. So our viewership, of course, has been low because I missed the war train, and that was kind of on purpose and kind of not. I was a little too lazy to capitalize on it, and there were some things I didn't expect to happen. Didn't expect the need to open up my own front, But it's all right. Stuff happens. We will keep it moving. Um, but yeah, so trying to grow the channel, trying to make things move forward. Mama said there'll be days like this. Absolutely. Mama said there'll be days like this. I don't want to get copyright struck, so can't put on the super good singing voice because then YouTube would be like, "Hey, that's too good." You know, it is what it is. But right now, I mean, yesterday was the parade, and I mean, well, technically today was the parade, and nothing happened. Putin didn't announce anything big. It looks like he was just treading water. I mean, I think that Putin is just not in a position to be able to expand upon the conflict without a possible chance of diminishing his grip on power. I think there are some things at play that put him at a severe disadvantage, you know? I think that he was scared to expand upon it. I think that he knows that so there's this idea called political capital, and I think he's expended quite a bit on this conflict. And with it not going to plan, I think that he's expended more than he thought he would have to, and that doesn't bode well for him. No, definitely underwhelming. Definitely underwhelming. So I don't know what he's going to do. Hold on, guys. I need to adjust the saturation level on this. I'm getting blown out. So actually, I'll just turn down the light. That's easier than going and messing with camera properties, right? Probably. What's that, Debbie days? There we go. So yeah, it was definitely underwhelming. It was actually very, very much smaller. There were supposed to be a set of MiGs that did a Z formation in a flyover, and they didn't do that either. And they've been practicing it. I mean, there's videos of them practicing it. Actually, um, I think CNN actually had the um, yeah, I think this is it right here. Yeah, they played it right here. We'll play this clip really quickly.
I was able to take 20
Yeah, we can
weeks
talk
off
about that.
fully paid.
Sorry. I need to get ad blocker on my On my webcam, I'm back into Chrome. It's okay. Come on. Bad weather was blamed for the canceled flower. Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's possible, but I mean the sky was clear, but I mean that doesn't mean that that's what the wind conditions were like in the sky. So, I mean, here you
Fighters
go.
practice flying over Moscow's Red Square in a Z formation. Z has become Russia's cryptic one-letter symbol to show support
I mean, there it
for its
was.
war in Ukraine. Earlier this week, 8 MiG fighters practiced flying over Moscow's Red Square in a Z formation. Z has become Russia's cryptic.
Yeah. So, I mean, they practice it. He's got to be desperate. I've said it before, but worth repeating. A dictator that loses a war doesn't hold on to power. Yeah, I've been telling people for a while that so there's no Putin cannot lose, right? He cannot be seen to have lost. And unless he has some way to formulate this into a win, there's no way that this conflict is going to end without either Russia running out of money, Putin being removed from power, or the absolute defeat of Russia or Ukraine. One of those three options, right? And those are three options because one's a binary; it has to go one way or the other. It's an option that depends on which way it goes, right? So, um, with that being said, it really begs the question: how are they going to? How is he going to be able to exit this? And you're right, Zach, 100%. So I don't think it was bad weather. I guarantee you that maybe something happened to the planes, maintenance. It would be surprising if they didn't have any in reserve, but who knows? I mean, at this point, it's just speculation. So I've been saying this for a while, and people are like, "Oh, well." Now people are talking about, "Oh, well, Putin can't walk away without a win." Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like it can't happen. He cannot be seen to have lost. His own personal ego, one, will not allow that, and two, the power dynamics within Russia would become so unbalanced if he lost this war. If he withdrew at this point, right? You got to think he just killed 40,000 troops basically. He by the end of this, they're going to lose. If they were to withdraw right now, there would still be ongoing conflict. And your weakest point is when you're withdrawing. Even if it's a structured withdrawal, you're still weak, and your opponent will usually seize on that, right? And so he doesn't have much of option, you know. It's very interesting how this is going to shape up. Really, I don't see they're not making any progress forward. They continue to lose units, continue to lose men, continue to not make progress. And actually on the southern front and the very top northeastern front, they're getting their asses handed to them. So I maintain my same position as earlier last week that they really need to just focus on strengthening and fortifying defense. Not that I'm on their side, but if I was them, this is what I would do. Fortify and strengthen their defense, and hold their positions, backfill the empty parts of the BTGs, pull back out of the area around Kharkiv and around Dnipro and Zaphoria, Zaporista. I can't ever say Z Town. We're gonna call it Z Town, and sort of pull those lines back, hold what you have, retreat down into Crimea in the south, and really fortify your position so that way you can reconstitute your forces. But it, they're base. It's like standing single file to walk into a room where someone's just sitting there and shooting you in the face, right? You just send the next one in, shot in the face, send the next one in, shot in the face, send the next one in, shot in the face, instead of attacking as a group. And I don't know what to say at this point. I've already said it. Doesn't need to be harped on. Zach Six said, Northern Lights says the next few days, weeks are going to be critical. Yeah, I agree. Ukraine is in a position where it needs to gather a very large force and push forward, and there is some evidence of that. I'm not going to speak as to troop positions or mobilization areas, but there is a large incoming onslaught of Ukrainian military that are about to hit them in the face. The U.S. just finished training about 250 troops on the M113 armored personnel carrier, and about 65-70% of them have been delivered in country. And then at the same time, we just got done training another batch of soldiers on the M777 howitzer artillery pieces. Those two things combined, right? Because those M113s can tow those artillery pieces. You really don't want that. You usually want it to have a dedicated vehicle and leave your infantry fighting vehicles so that they can maneuver independently, because you require your infantry to sort of create a barrier between your artillery and ground forces that are trying to destroy them. But at this point, with those things combined, that aggregation of force, and hopefully, it's up to them what they're going to do, but it looks like they're aggregating a large enough force to create a giant push. At least that's what I'd be doing, and that's what I understand the thought process to be for them. They're making all the right moves. They're operating using vastly superior intelligence compared to anything that they're used to or that the Russians have. Things are looking really good for them. And then just the major stumble. Putin really missed a chance, right? I don't know if it was lack of resources, whether it be lack of money or lack of actual units to do, but that parade was very lackluster, right? It was supposed to be a show of grandiose and force. And if you're going to fake it till you make it, which is really what they're doing, they're faking it right now, okay? If you're going to fake it till you make it, you really need to, when you put on a show, you need to make sure that thing's a fucking show, all right? Because you want people to be coming back like, God damn, I don't know, man. Like, you see all that? Like, But that's not what we got. We got no airplanes, some really klutzy tanks, a few ICBMs on a truck, and a bunch of soldiers looking really angry, and a lot of old dudes in the VDV units, which are supposed to be their elite airborne units. So I don't know what to really think at this point. Would not be surprised if Putin dies during his operation by quote-unquote accident, says I Love Tarkin. I don't think we're at that point. A majority of Russia still supports Putin, right? Putin helped drag them out of a quagmire from 1999 on forward and brought back a appearance of strength, right? And that's kind of what he's loved and beknownst for, is pulling Russia out of that quagmire they had gotten themselves into after the fall of the USSR, and sort of reconstituting the image of Russia as a strong, solid nation with a solid foundation and solid morals, right? Even if that wasn't true in practice, it was true in its belief and the outward projected appearance. So I'm not sure that they're going to do that. No, they don't think he's a peaceful leader. No, not at all. You got to understand the way that Russians are very conservative. Okay? And when I say conservative, I don't mean like American conservatives. I mean, they see the ideal makeup of their social society, right, as a more, think of America in the 1950s and 1960s, very man head of the household, woman at home taking care of the house, man provides, chivalry, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's much more deeply ingrained into their society. And the acceptance of, we're going to broach a weird topic here, but we're just going to talk about it. All right. A lot of people talk about toxic masculinity, and I hate that term, right? Because who wants a man when you go out and you're out doing something and some dude starts disrespecting you, you're like, listen guys, you don't be, I would like it, sir, if you would not talk to my wife like that after he done smacked your ass and called her good tits, right? But we're moving towards a society where we're just supposed to accept being cucked by other guys. And we're going to leave it there a little bit. Now, there's a thing in society up until recently, right, where women, when talking about equality, there was a conversation that needed to be had about how you really don't want true equality. You don't want the draft. You don't want to be drafted to the military. Most, we're using most, and this is just statistically true. But also, women don't want the equality of how men treat each other. There is a level of interaction between men, right? In which you can rise to this point and then probably somebody's going to smack somebody. All right? And if you smack somebody, they probably going to smack you back. And not smack, we're going to throw fists, right? Because men, we are taught that you don't lay your hands on a woman, but a dude get out of line, you throw them, you throw hands, right? Now, I avoid this. I'm a pacifist. I believe in self-defense. But this is the society we live in. Now, women think it's acceptable to hit men. It's acceptable in movies to smack men. It's acceptable to strike us, right? If another man were to strike us, we would go ham, all right? So, okay, Luna, you might be the exception. I'm just talking. I'm giving generalizations of the general populace. Now, as we've progressed in whatever direction you want to talk about, we've tried to create more effeminate men that cry, and men that express emotions. And women say that want that until they get that, and then they don't want that shit. Okay, it's also statistically proven. Women prefer assholes because the cocky, strong, confident man that is usually a narcissistic asshole turns on a part of us that's archaic, that this person would produce good offspring, right? And then after that fact, you want to settle down. But moving back, they don't have any of these current issues in their society. Their society is really based around that these things are acceptable. 1950s, 1960s idea of what a man is, what a woman is, and how a household should be structured. So, it's their society's different, guys. We have to understand that the way there's no far left wing like we have here, right? Except the extreme right does exist, and is actually somewhat more quite more acceptable over there than it is here. So, oh yeah, got you. Okay, Luna. Yeah, I know, right? But the toxic masculinity. Why are you letting your pride get to you? Just walk the other way, and violence is never the answer. That's not how that works, guys. At least not with a woman I want to be with. But we're gonna leave the red pill to another day. Okay, this is not a red pill podcast, and I don't agree fully with the current red pill movement, so we're gonna avoid that term too. What's up, Isa? What's going on? How you doing? What's going on, Mama? By the way, no, I'm not being disrespectful. Her nickname is Mama Isa. So, anyways, guys, it's a slow day, But when we're talking about that, we have to. Oh yeah, the funeral walk thing they did with the wreath kill. Yeah, dude, that was weird, right? I mean, like you could see he was trying to force an emotional reaction. At least to me, that's how it appeared. That was quite crazy. So, guys, you got to understand, like, support for Putin is strong. All right. And then support for this war is strong because he's had 20 years almost of being just able to reiterate it's 2 years off of 20 years of just being able to form a narrative inside of the media and controlling a narrative and feeding a narrative. And even the people initially, they may have known it was not true, but after you get tired of looking up, well, what's the real story here? And then you just keep hearing it. If you keep hearing something over and over again, no matter how untrue it is, eventually it sinks into your brain and it will subconsciously affect how you think and what you think. Right? So, I am missing so much stuff, but I come often to at least read the news on Discord. Hey, any activity is better than no activity. I appreciate you for coming through and viewing. That reminds me, I need to check my dashboard. Oh, we got 12 viewers of the stream. All right, I'm cool with this. We hit 13 for a second. We went down, but we're back up. It's okay. All right, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment. It helps, you know. So, but yeah, welcome, welcome. Let's see, bro. Yes, I laughed so hard. Well, I saw a pic. You can explain the story. I haven't watched any of the news today. What was that? Oh, you're talking about the wreath? Yeah, I'll cover it. Oh yeah, they call Northern Lights. Are you talking about they called me a fascist, or who they call a fascist? I missed some context here. North said, "Oh yeah, Luna, they called him a fascist." I mean, I was called a Nazi in in another place and another time. It's quite interesting. The car. I think that facade is crumbling. Not sure if you saw my post in Discord earlier about the strategists on Russian state TV station. Basically, we're screwed. I did see some of that. Yeah. No, absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He was called a fascist, and they were shouted down as murderers, and they had paint thrown on them, right? So, so, they basically they painted him red. Okay, hold on, let me manage my cookies. My cookies. My cookies. Oh, my cookies. You know what? We're just gonna hit save and close. So basically, they hit the Polish prime minister with paint. They were shouting, "You murderers, go home! You murderers!" And they threw paint, and he's about to get splashed with a shitload more. Boom. So yeah, that's what happened. Russia's ambassador to Poland has been pelted with red paint thrown at him by people protesting against the war in Ukraine as he went to lay flowers at the Soviet military cemetery in Warsaw on the anniversary of the Allied victory over Nazi Germany in 1945. Yeah. Um, and then there was the May 9th Putin wreath. So he did this whole laying stuff at a casket and um, going in front of a wreath and basically acting super sad and trying he was he you could tell he was purposely trying to evoke an emotion, and it wasn't working too well for him. So um so yeah, I mean that's basically what happened. He looks really pissed. He did not seem to be enjoying himself. I think he was in a lot of pain, and I think that they did a lot to whatever he's suffering from. I think he's in a lot of pain from it, you know? So we'll see. Um, Russian leader emphasized that Russian troops were fighting for the country's security in Ukraine and called a minute of silence to honor the soldiers who fell in combat. Putin noted that some of the troops taking part in the parade previously had fought in Ukraine. He said the troops in Ukraine have been fighting for the motherland so that no one will forget the lessons of World War II and there will be no place in the world for hangmen, executioners, and the Nazis. Lord Jesus. Yo, I had to, so I filtered it out. I did I did not know that we were allowed to broadcast the parade on YouTube. I thought that YouTube had created some rules against that, but apparently not. So I picked up the broadcast last night. Um, okay. In Ukraine chat. Okay, my own hero. So my own hero says I put two links up a story you might want to talk about in the Ukraine chat. So we'll go check that out. You know what? I'm not too upset with it being a slow day. It's bad for me as a content creator. But as far as it goes, I mean, it's better than what people thought was going to happen on May 9th. So let's see. Ukraine chat. Okay. I don't think you linked the actual story. Um, that's crazy. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, that cute little dog that like sniffs out bombs and shit got awarded some stuff. He did not. Yo, did you guys see? He barked like a mug at the Canadian Prime Minister. He does not like Trudeau, yo. I don't know what was there, but he did not like Justin Trudeau at all. So, hold on, let me see if I can get the video. He did not like Justin Trudeau. Okay, well, let's see where he met. Yo, let's see. Here it is. Here it is. Let this be it, please. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, here it is. He did not like him. He pulled him back. There's another one. He did not like Trudeau, dude. Shit is hilarious. And people are laughing at it. He's like, yo, well, do you have like meat in your pockets? Is what Zelensky said. He did not, because he went up, he was barking at him, he pulled him back. They cut it a little early. There's another one from over here on this side. But yeah, he did not like Justin Trudeau. That was crazy. He barked at he barked to him. No, he barked at him. He was like he growled. In the other one, you can see there's another one where it was closer, and he like growled a little bit and like he did not like Justin Trudeau, man. He was not about that Trudeau life. So yeah, dogs are smart. You're damn right. I don't like Trudeau either. It's fine. We're not gonna get into Canada's politics. All right, and then Newsweek. Uh, I don't see the Russian thing. So basically, there's another one about. Um, so basically, apparently, Russians are saying that Ukrainians are calling upon occult magic to um, do some things. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Russian oligarch that was found dead under mysterious circumstances. They're still having issues with their soldiers following orders. They're also having soldiers that in the last 24 hours in three different places have. It seems that the equipment was mysteriously but purposely uh, destroyed um, by saboteurs, internal saboteurs who just don't want to be deployed. So that's a thing. Yeah, we decided to say fuck you, Russia, and ramp up more weapons deliveries. Um, that's all I got, man. I don't see the one you were talking about, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, Putin has accused Ukraine of supposedly that's how they quote unquote supposedly breached the Minsk agreement, but there's no proof that Ukraine was in possession of or seeking the possession of a nuclear a nuclear bomb or any type of nuclear weapon of any kind. Yeah, anybody who's not phoning home, from what I understand, is getting hunted down. But again, that's all speculation. We'll see how it turns out. He can only do so much damage until these people who have millions of dollars are going to be like, yeah, I'm tired of him wiping us out. Let's hire an assassin. Like that's the thing. Once you have a certain amount of money in this world, you can hire someone anywhere in the world to do whatever you want. And there's some spec ops guy, previous special ops, badass motherfucker out there who is for hire and a mercenary who will basically do whatever you want. And when when you have the type of pool they do, they go there under diplomatic protection or diplomatic immunity, which makes them almost impossible to catch before they leave the country. And then they just claim their diplomatic immunity once they're in their embassy and they leave. Even if they were to get caught. And the thing is that most of the people who are assassins guys, you never hear about. Like professional guys, they come in, they do their work, they get out. They don't leave traces. They don't reuse the same weapon. They change their MOs. They have multiple passports that are legitimate passports, right? Not legitimate like they're on their real name, but they're real passports with their actual prints they're using for that op, with their actual photos linked to the type of way they would look for whatever op that is, right? They work in cash, they work in XRP. They don't leave traces behind. They don't use credit cards. They don't rent vans and stuff. They don't do any of that, right? Pros, they get cars that they can dump. They pay cash to people. They don't that aren't going to ask questions. Usually, people who are desperate. They don't play games. They pay them cash. Hey, your car got stolen, right? Use the vehicle. Don't report it stolen until 2 days from now. Go. They dump the vehicle, right? And the car gets reported stolen. No one knows anything. Like, yo, I'm telling you, dude. They don't tell the stories later either. Usually, people who are real hitmen, like professional hitmen, one, don't get caught, and two, don't write tell-all books. Um, and people who are trained and know how to not get caught or are taught in ways to with basically detection prevention, right, and prevention, right, such as units that may go on ops to support units that don't actually exist and stuff like that. You'd be surprised. Like anybody who has this type of training, they're not going to just kill somebody in the heat of a moment, right? That's the stupidest way that you would ever do it. Yep. So, um, Isabella Galt says, first Putin was talking about biological weapons, but then he changed his mind. He's given so many reasons to justify this invasion. It's crazy, you know. But now another oligarch has died, and it's crazy that two of them died in almost identical circumstances by murder suicide. You know, in Russia, you don't kill yourself kills you. So, oh man, it's craziness. It's craziness. Well, Odessa is currently getting hit. If you know much about and how much Germany wanted Odessa back then, so Odessa was bound to get hit at some point. Unfortunately, Ukraine is stretched thin on its anti-air defenses, and it needs it around Kiev and Lviv, and Odessa is feeling the pain of that, right? And unfortunately, we can't just hand them Patriot missile systems. Patriot missile systems are quite advanced comparatively to what they have and are nothing like what they have. And the training to use Patriot anti missile systems are, how do I put this, quite complex. Now we have mobile turreted anti air capabilities in the United States military, specifically the Army, that I think would benefit them. But again, teaching them to use them adequately, and plus the radars. I don't know if we have any radars that we could functionally give them that wouldn't put at risk our own national security, right? So that's what we have. That's what the difference between foreign arms sales and arms sales to allies and stuff versus the stuff we use internally. There are capabilities and there are chips and parts of the system that we change partially or in their entirety to sell to other nations. They don't get the good stuff, they get the pretty good stuff. So kills you. Bird flu, geese, letting yourself kills you. Absolutely. Yeah, but on the day of the anti Nazi day, Yeah, and he did issue that threat. So Northern Light says it's quite odd that basically on the day of the anti-Nazi day that this Russian oligarch who had apparently got on the bad side of Putin just randomly just took a nosedive, you know. Russian oligarch Alexander Subotin died under mysterious circumstances at the house of a shaman over the weekend, according to Russian media. Sabatin, the former top manager of Russian energy company Lukoil, is the latest of several Russian oligarchs to die in a suspicious manner amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine. He was found dead in the basement of the home of a shaman in Mytishki, a city just northeast of the capital city of Moscow on Sunday after suffering an apparent heart attack. Russia media outlet TASS reported a criminal case into his death has been opened. The billionaire allegedly went to the shaman's home in a state of severe alcoholic and drugs. And what is up with them calling everyone a drug addict and an alcoholic? That like this literally screams of like FSB Putin driven super idealistic. I'm perfect in every way and have no what's the word I'm looking for, vices. Putin, right? His body was discovered in a room of the basement reportedly used for Jamaican voodoo rich. How many Jamaicans y'all know that how many Jamaicans y'all know in Russia? Y'all, you know how cold it is versus Jamaica. Any of y'all who's never been to the U.S. Virgin Islands, Jamaica, guys, go there. It's a great experience. Um, or my foster family's hometown of St. Croix. Um, Amazing place to go. How many? I'm sorry, you. Yeah, uh, it sounds bad, but if I don't know of anybody that I've ever met that's Jamaican like, yeah, I want to go to Russia. I'm gonna get me them Russian man. Yeah, they don't do it. Yeah, your dreadlocks will freeze the fuck off. My family, by the way, my foster family, by the way, guys, is actually from the islands. So, when anybody goes getting upset, uh, they're stretching it a bit with the Ritz-Craft too. Like you can, oh, we're just gonna move on. um, Local news outlets reported this civilian went to the shaman in search of a hangover cure, which allegedly involved toad. Yeah, yeah, you just sleep it off. Like you don't need a hangover. Yo, this story is so hard for me to not laugh at. Guys, if you believe this, I have a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. I'm telling you, I have a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Target says, well, Friday is the 13th, whatever, full moon and full lunar eclipse. You know what? Maybe. Maybe this man was so desperate to get rid of his hangover that, it takes 12 hours to get rid of, that he was willing to go fuck with some poison toads and, you know, shamanistic voodoo doll rituals. I don't know. Where, I mean, I have no way to refute it, but it sounds absolutely fucking ridiculous, right? So, no, this was a Jamaican, right, that just happened to be in Russia. Yo, I would not go to Russia from Jamaica. Jamaica is a beautiful and amazing place. I would never go to Russia or any of those places. I have Newt. So I don't think we're Zach. I don't think we're dealing with witchcraft here. With witch. Oh, you know what they said? Witchcraft. You know what? I just have no fucking words. We're gonna move on. All right. Oh man. Let's go. Let's check out ground. What does Ground News got going on today? Let's see. Let's see what their top stories are. Let's see. Oh yeah, this right here, this is the thing. It's not being covered at all by the left. So this is where we get into media bias, guys, right? So when we go and we click something like this is literally where people went into a church, a giant church, and started protesting in the middle of mass and yelling that they'll kill the baby, that they are baby killers and they will kill the babies. Swear to God, can't make this up. Not one source in the center to the left has covered this, right? Literally, people saying that we are the baby. They literally said we are the baby killers. And any other place this would be covered in media because it caused a huge conflict. They were pushed out. It was, I mean, and it's the Los Angeles Cathedral, guys. Like, it's not a small church. Isabella said, I mean, hey guys, I was poisoned by a frog that literally jumped on me when I went to a river. Nobody's fault kind of story. I just decided to go and lick some shit randomly. And then abortion activists decide to, raid a Catholic mass. And then a whole bunch of Catholic Italian Goomba looking dudes fucking escorted them. I will make you an offer you can't refuse today. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, not one is shit. Even right of center. Only people covering this are the right. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why people don't get a full picture of what's going on in America, because it's really centrally things that are important to the right are never covered by moderate media sources or left leaning media sources. It's quite sad. Right, and vice versa too. Don't get me wrong; it happens on both sides. It just happens tends to be more on one side than the other these days, statistically speaking. And those statistics are published here. You can check it out on ground.news. I suggested it helps you understand your media bias, your blind spots. If you download it and you allow it to have access when it sees when you're reading news and stuff like that, it sort of tracks it. And you can use the app to it'll literally tell you your blind spot. Like you ignore these things. And this is how, even though social media sort of gets us to participate in echo chambers and associate only with people who have our views mostly, or who share the same ideology with us, this is how you sort of are able to balance that out, right? Because it's important to have balance, so that way you don't keep going further to one side or the other. It allows you to create balanced perspective by reading, this is how the left frames it, this is how the center frames it, this is how the right frames it. Here's all the things they have in common, right? So we know those to be factually true. And then the other parts are spin based on current ideology. Also, YouTube, please fix your fucking viewer count. I know that right now there are at least 6 people here chatting, and it tells me I have 4 viewers. Like I'm gonna capture this for you guys. I'm gonna put it in. Hold on, let me hit escape on this. Windows Shift S. I'm gonna capture this for you guys and let you guys see. This is the shit I look at, and I'm just like, and then people are like, no, we're here, and then they start piping up in chat, and it's like, what? Yeah, absolutely. That's it. I have 8. I see there's 8. Oh yeah, there's 8 now, but there was 4. It's just it's maybe they heard me. The the gods are listening. It's all right. Like, now there's 8, but it literally went down to 0. I'm not sure how that works. Yeah, now I have 9. Yeah, concurrent viewers 10. It's bouncing for some reason. It's weird. I like shouted them out, and then all of a sudden they came back. I guess that's how it works. You guys see that? That was a dip to 0, which is not even possible. I'm gonna write a strongly worded. I want to speak to your manager. I'm gonna be a Ken. It's the new math. Absolutely. I guess it's Common Core. Yo. Oh man, that was such a. I'm so glad that Common Sense came to educators on that one, because it was like, yo, but it's much simpler. Like, just 10. So put the 10 on the one hand, and then 3, 13. Right? Like, as for YouTube managers, you need a different haircut though. I what's wrong with my haircut? I'll tell you what. Tell you what. I'm also gonna start. I was thinking about getting StreamYard and simultaneously broadcasting to Twitch, Rumble, and YouTube. Um, so that might be a thing. Um, so hopefully, maybe I can start converting some of those previous YouTube viewers and Twitch viewers over here to YouTube and stuff like that. We'll see. But yeah, guys, man, our chat rate is great though. I'm loving it. Loving all you guys. This right here, this Casey White. Oh, they caught him. Oh, they caught him. What? Listen, listen, JavaScript. Get out of here with that. Zach just put a line of. I'm pretty sure that's JavaScript. Random length viewer count. Well, wouldn't it just be random and then set your range? Wouldn't you use the range argument with a variable for the upper limit and then just 0 as the bottom? Yo, set your lower and your upper limit and just choose a random number somewhere between there, right? Yeah. Yo, fucking A. Dude. It's crazy. Nerd alert. I'm sorry, I'm a software engineer. It's kind of what I do. Kind of what I do. Hey, I actually made WordPress run inside of Visual. Actually, I'm going to show you guys. This is fucking awesome. So, we're going to nerd out for a second. You guys, here we go. Yeah. Oh, no, that's Visual Studio Preview. I need regular. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, guys, watch this. So, understand that PHP does not normally work in .NET. It's a Windows versus not Windows thing, right? WordPress operates on what's called the LAMP stack, which is Linux, Apache, MySQL, all right, and PHP. Watch this. Oh, hold on, I gotta close this out. By the way, if you're watching Dev Express, send me. I need a key for Code Rush. Come on. We're just gonna hit the play button. Watch how simple this is. I'm gonna hit boom. It's gonna build. Nope, no dialing it back yet. It's launching an entire web server, guys, so give it a moment. Plus, over half of my processor is consumed with the cams and everything else. Oh my god, I don't have a boner right now from it. Screw you, man. Screw you. All right. And now it's loading back. It finally got the responses coming back now. Hit F12. Just console. Yep, checks are passing. It's just taking a minute to compile. So what's happening is basically I'm using what's called the shell system to launch and compile the PHP and then run it inside of a container inside of IIS. Yes, sir. Look at that. That's WordPress running in IIS. Guys, I just want to be honest with you. Damn, we dropped it. God, I just nerded out and drove everyone away. I'm sorry. But WordPress, guys, running in .NET. It's actual PHP. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop. I'm very proud of myself for doing that, guys. Leave me alone. Uh, you want to stop debugging? Yes, I want to stop debugging. Hold on, here. I'll do it the right way and hit the stop button. God. Man. So, anyways, hey, looks like they got him. They said 2 fugitives were caught near Evansville, Indiana, after a chase with U.S. Marshals. The pickup truck was stolen in Tennessee and then driven about 170 miles. Still, Casey White was awaiting trial on a capital murder case. Well, her life's over. We are proud of you too. I thank you. I needed that. You should Docker. Listen, that would require me to implement Kubernetes for signature signing. I'm good. um, so Northern. So basically, guys, what that just was is basically I created what's called an isolated environment that had just the bare minimum to run, right? And so I created basically a process in PHP, right? Which is just means this application exists in memory, right? It launched the process, meaning it put the program in memory. But web programs can't do anything unless they have a host, right? So like a web server, like you have a website and you host your website, right? So that's a host. So what I did is I said, hey, host, come here and take this thing and transfer it to create where I can type and go to HTTP my local machine and get access to it. That's all. So yeah. I can't. And so I basically created a quasi container. Now Docker basically is what they call serverless compute. It's just someone else's PC, guys. Okay. And then it's just saying, hey, I'm going to launch this thing with absolutely nothing more than what it needs to run, period, nothing else. Okay. And it allows you to basically do what's called horizontal scaling, which is where instead of growing a box gigantic to handle more things, you instead allow people to go to different boxes to handle the same thing and then manage the magic behind the scenes to make it all line up. Like I go over here and I'm using my phone app and I go in and I create, I don't know, a document or something and store it, and then I log in on my computer and it goes to this other server over here, and somehow the two are supposed to magically know that this file just exists, and it's magic, and gets into basically the principles of the fallacies of distributed computing. And this is not a computer show. You know what? Yeah. Bad Zach. You got me. Man, I will go for a smoke and we'll be back. Oh, sorry. Well, I mean, I was quit now, but actually, where is my... Oh, there's my vaporizer. Love that thing. Oh, no, that's not it. Did I leave it downstairs? Oh! I haven't vaped yet. I was doing good. Then I got reminded of my failures. Yeah, same kernel, glib, but shared across layers of terminal. Yeah, basically. But anyways, moving forward. Well, these guys got caught. This is great. Great coverage too. You see? Covered more in the mainstream media. It's a vanilla story. Clearview AI. This is some scary shit. You know, on the technology scope, if you guys have never heard of Clearview AI, they went out and they got sued for it and still won. They went out and when you pasted your face on Instagram, Facebook, the faces of your kids, your spouse, your family members who may not even knew you've posted it on social media, right? Who may not even use social media. They went out and harvested all those faces from all these places and then took where you tagged your family to, make it easier for them to find themselves and for you to find them in your photos. They harvested all that data. And even some companies like Facebook sold it directly to them with all the metadata attached in a consumable format. And now you're in an archive in a private company's database for them to do facial recognition on you. Oh, man. I mean, it is a vaporizer. So. Oh, man. But yeah, guys, this shit is crazy. It is crazy. So I'm gonna put it in VC chat and Discord. But check this out sometime, guys. I mean, it's scary. It is quite scary. Yeah. And it's quite good at doing it too. So, um, it's it is quite good at doing it. It can literally live monitor video feeds and find you. And it uses AI, so even if you modify or wear a mask or a hat or other things like that, it uses AI to basically It uses a convolutional neural net. I don't know how to explain that in layman's terms. I'm sorry. Um, convolutional neural net. I don't even know how to put that in terms that a layman would. Guys, AI is so hard for even programmers to understand. Trying to simplify it to non-technical terms is very difficult. Isn't that what they're using to ID Russian soldiers in Ukraine? Yeah, but it'd be one thing if it was like guaranteed to not be misused or only sold to U.S. entities that are law enforcement, etc. And even I don't even like that. It's great for forensics. I mean, if you like your privacy invaded, right? So there's standing Fourth Amendment issues with it in the U.S. and they know that. That's why they're not selling it heavily here. You have a right to unreasonable search and seizure, and searching for where you are in public without a warrant has constitutional implications, right? So even if it's after the fact and they're going through and they're identifying everybody that's seen in a camera, that's so broad of a search, right? That there's no way that we'd be able to do that and get it approved with a warrant. Yeah, we kind of have a right to privacy in America. Northern, yeah. Northern's like, we kind of have a right to privacy, yeah. And so they used it for January 6th. And the thing is that if you could say that everybody who's in this area most likely committed a crime, and you can get a warrant to allow for the search of those individuals and using their private photos and other things from a judge, then that's fine. But Clearview basically does the processing, and they were trying to bypass it because they were making it to where, oh, well, it's not the police and it's not the government doing it. It's us taking this footage and then identifying the people in it for them. They're not doing the search. We're a private entity. Well, you're acting on the behalf of a government agency, right? So yeah, and so they were able to so Zach, they were able to combine a convolutional neural net along with a rewards based AI. I can't remember what the AI model is called right now. I'm sorry. But basically, guys, there's a form of AI that you teach it by rewarding it when it does something right and taking away and punishing it when it does something negative, right? And then you reward the final outcome also, right? And that's a little bit more difficult, but the convolutional neural net allows them to basically learn from examples of this is the picture of this person from the front, this is their side, right? And being able to identify, basically you start out a convolutional neural net and you teach it to identify the same face from different angles, right? And you do that by giving it a set of good data and a set of bad data, and it learns from that. And so then this is the person with a hat, right? And you go through enough and it learns that, oh, well, even when someone has a hat, these are the parts of the face that stay the same from these different angles, right? So it knows, oh, I can identify people from all directions now. Now I can identify a face that has a hat on. Okay, well, now let's take that same face that you know how to identify from all angles and you know how to identify when it has a hat on. Now let's see if you can find ways to identify it accurately with high accuracy when it has a hat and a mask on. And then you run through thousands of faces and you feed it the answers, right? So when it gets it wrong, you tell it it's wrong and you slap its hand, okay? And then it continues to do that. And it's like, oh, I got that wrong. Well, what did I do different when I got it right here and when I got it wrong here? And it finds the parts where it got it wrong and it eliminates where it made mistakes. It's so fucking scary. It's so scary. It's so scary, guys. And and so it learns because you're feeding it. You're sitting there and you're feeding it answers at first. Then it's making its own answers, and you're taking away from it and giving it. It's called positive reinforcement models. But anyways, you're giving it positive reinforcement when it gets it right, and you're giving it negative reinforcement when it gets it wrong. And that's after it comes out of the convolutional neural net, which just means it does this until it finds an answer. So it's fucking crazy. That is the simplest way I could. I was sitting here racking my brain how I could explain it to people. So it's crazy. It's nuts. And so they basically train this AI, thousands of input, tons of hours of people just giving it the answers and then feeding it and correcting it, and then basically self-correction. It's just it's nuts. Yeah, I don't like where this is going either, Northern. It's crazy. Works across ages as well. The stuff built into Google Photos that does facial recognitions. Oh yeah, so that's the other thing. You can also teach it to age people correctly, right? So basically, if I have a picture of you from 20 years ago and I have a ton of pictures of you from 20 years ago and then I have a ton of pictures of you from today and then I have you in the same positions, right? Or similar positions or from the front, from the, and I teach it to age people and basically guess which face belongs to the person who's younger or older, right? It can then start to computationally learn how people age through detecting the underlying bone structure, which it doesn't know it's doing. It figures this out because it's trying to find ways. Well, what about these faces is similar? And it's finding them, right? And it doesn't know bones or anything. It just, what about these faces is similar? And it's looking for logarithmic ways to create basically calculatable ways that it can look at a face and, well, when this exists, and when this exists, this exists, right? And it's just crazy. It is great for missing people, but again, when it's used to just mass search videos for it to identify everyone in them, that's a violation of your Fourth Amendment. You have a right to go about your daily life without the government searching through video and finding whoever's there and then logging it. Like it's just it's a balance, right? What do I think about the computer chips that are inserted into people's hands? I think, given modern security and considering I'm a secure application engineer, if you put your personal information and data in a readable way into a microchip that doesn't require some form of strong key for de-encryption for someone to read it, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm sorry if you're one of those people. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, guys. So, did an experiment a while ago where we walked around with a RFID scanner, right, in a backpack, which means it was a pretty powerful scanner. All right. So, what most people don't know is that that little chip that's on your card where you see the little Wi-Fi looking signal, okay, that's an RFID emitter. Now, it's a passive RFID emitter, which means it has to be energized through capacitive contact to get it. But you can also use active RFID emission to read them from a distance of about 1 foot. So if I'm standing next to you at Starbucks and I have a backpack on, looks like a normal backpack, I can steal your credit card information. So we did it, and we scraped, in a day of walking around Charlotte, we scraped the credit card information of over 2,500 people in the matter of about 6 hours of just walking around the city. Near field contact, yes, NFC. So, I was keeping it simple, Zach. So Zach said near field contact, which is actually what's in. So NFC is also how you pair like headphones by touching them to your phone, and it has that little NFC symbol on it. You touch them and it goes. Zoom. So yeah, we can. That's why you need, guys. If you don't have one already, go get a RFID blocking wallet or a RFID blocking purse. Okay, it's important, especially given that pretty much every car today has near field contact capabilities. It's just, but yeah, it's totally insecure, and it's the same thing. Even if you store it in your hand, right? The problem is with your hand. How are you gonna RFID block your hand? Like it, so you then have to have some form of key, right? Which is a password, which would unlock it. But any cryptographically strong key that's going to be close to unbreak, like can it be brute forced quite easily with just, a few days worth of time, you're not going to remember that, right? So like even 128-bit DES is crackable through a thing called hash collision. We're not going to get into the depths of it. Just understand that basically I can guess until I get a similar hash that then unlocks everything and makes it legible. Okay. and I can do it through distributed computing. So, no, so we don't have to tell you, right? So white hats, I don't have to tell you I stole your credit card information. I just have to not use it. It's not illegal for me to harvest it because you're an idiot. It's illegal for me to use it. Okay? Yes, Zach. Yes, MD5 checksums, okay, are oh, stop. So basically, cryptographically strong ciphers are 512-bit AES encryption. Use basically 512-bit encryption in a cipher type that's called AES. Okay, um, and that's what we're gonna leave it at. We're gonna stop now and not go down into the how cryptographics work. 15 viewers. I know, right? We hit it. We're doing it. We're doing it up, man. We're getting there. Eventually, at some point, we'll get there. I appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. We have 7 likes, which means that we have about half the people here. I'm cool with this. So, yeah, I appreciate all of you. But, you're going to go grab a drink. All right, guys. So here's the deal. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. I need to go grab something to drink and my vape, and I will be right back. All right. I got wasted. Oh yeah, perfect timing. Zach will come. I tried getting him to stop, but it didn't. I have to admit, I'm not interested to the same. I tried to get him to stop, but it didn't work. Zach. Oh, but when he's starting on a subject, you can go deep. The guy is passionate. I mean, I try to be passionate. I apologize. Oh man. No, my brain retains things. It's weird, you know. Don't ask me where my keys are though. Anyways, but this shit is the back to the original point. This shit is scary, right? And just having a basic understanding of how it works helps you understand why it's scary, right? Because it's one thing to be told this is bad, right? They're cataloging hundreds of faces, but then you're like, well, it can't be that many, but it is. It and understanding what they're actually doing with it is the creepy and scary part. So, all right. So moving on. What else does Ground have for us? This is a great resource. We should just randomly talk about things off the front page of Ground. All right. Yes, it's terrifying. I love Target says, "Yep, yep." Oh, yep. WWE star basically killed someone in a DUI. No one would care if it wasn't for them being famous. Majority's favorite supporter of Ukraine despite broad concerns. Yep. Hmm. Adrian Payne, former Orlando Magic, shot and killed in Florida. Huh. Oh, there we go. That's a thing. Another place where basically the left and the center is trying to act like woke ideology doesn't exist, but this shows it. But it's okay. Yeah. So just like there's problems from the right. I think there was one up here where basically there was no coverage from the right because, of course, it dealt with January 6th. Had no coverage from. Yeah. So like this one right here. Oh no, it has some coverage from the right. Okay. So this is like centered, which is interesting. Yeah, that's insane. By the way, guys, if you guys take John Oliver serious, like maybe just look and research some of the stuff he says to see if it's misleading. Let's see. Yes, I can see it and I can relate to your way the brain functions, just not about the same subjects, but we have a war in common in the trial of depth. Yeah, yeah. Oh, also in the trial of depth, they found that it is most likely that Amber Heard uh, basically that Amber Heard perjured herself because the she was supposed to appear. She was testifying how she was supposed to appear on a show, and basically they had to work around her bruises and her cuts in her head that Johnny had left. And then that specific show, she shows no signs of having black eyes or bruises to the head or anything like that. But not only that, but the makeup artist that was doing makeup for her, making a statement against self-interest because by being involved in this, she can lose work. Said that there were no cuts, bruises, or anything for her to work around. There was no. She made a weird comment at the end of the show about her having two black eyes, which she clearly did not have, and her being a makeup artist, she would have noticed. It's quite crazy. Yeah, it is insane. Yeah, I can agree. They did ruin Depp's career. Um, I hope after this he'll start to get roles and stuff back again. I hope that his career recovers, but it's going to be difficult for him this late in the game. Because he was already starting to age out of his some of his major roles. So, um, I don't know. They tried to do that, but it does look like she's just holding one of her noses and blowing out, not blowing in. because she breathes in right afterwards, which is unusual if you just sniff some coke. That was a case falling. She messed everything up for him. Zach Six says she is definitely a lying liar who lies. Yeah, and these people who are like still on her side, you're fighting the wrong. The person you're championing is the wrong person to be championing for your cause, right? But it definitely did strong damage to the Me Too movement. Guys, listen. Always listen to people about their claims of abuse. It is important to do so. But I don't think that we should ever believe anyone about anything without proof. And we should also afford people due process. And I know it's hard, especially about sensitive subjects, such as what the Me Too movement covers. Okay? But we have found time and time again that we have jumped to outrage without knowing the facts first and believing people because we have been told that we need to believe everyone who comes forward, unless they're a man, which is, I can show you the statistics around that too. All right. We need to believe everyone, and it comes out time and time again. You guys, look at how we're still, MSNBC and people are still talking about Justice Kavanaugh and how they're putting this forward. You want to know what the crazy thing is that that party he was supposedly at, that all this stuff happened at, it couldn't have happened because the House didn't exist at that time. I don't care where you are. It is literally impossible for the story put forward against Justice Kavanaugh to have happened. Period. The house they said it happened at hadn't been built yet. What do I know? But yet we keep pushing this narrative that was based on a lie. So listen to people, be understanding of them, but require proof. Yeah, absolutely. Me Too had a good purpose when it first started out, but then it got taken to this crazy extreme. Same thing. I believe BLM, when it first started, had a good idea. I don't like that they structured it in a way that if you disagreed with them, it looked like you were disagreeing that Black Lives Matter. But I think the BLM movement had a good purpose. The people had good intentions when they first started, and it just got carried way out to left field, right, and hasn't benefited a single black community. So I think we have a problem of allowing good movements to be carried away by the left or in a few rare cases the right? Such as, hey, we should have integrity in our elections. I think everybody can agree to that. You know what? Most people who are from these countries that the left upholds, Sweden, Austria, Germany, guess what you have to vote? ID. You have to prove who you are to vote. Zach says, I call it recreational outrage. People just want to be mad at something. Yeah, because it gives them purpose. It gives them an enemy. It gives them something to be angry in and feel like they're doing something. I'm achieving something, right? Yeah, I agree. It galvanizes whatever your position was, even if you know it's wrong, you're buckled in. No, I've seen it time and time again. Even when it comes out that the person was lying, or some of the stories don't make sense, or hey, it's weird that this person who stood to financially gain is all of a sudden accusing this guy who refused to give them that financial gain of something, even though before that they weren't coming out. And this person's never been accused of that before in their life. No one's even alluded to it, right? Um, yeah, you have to have ID to get a library card. Yet to do one of the most critical things, to participate in one of the most critical processes to our democracy, where for some reason shouting from the rooftops that this is, but you want to know what's weird is that the people claiming to represent disenfranchised minorities aren't listening to these quote unquote supposedly one, stop calling minorities disenfranchised just naturally by their nature. It's disempowering and disingenuous and is belittling and quite racist. Second off, um, uh, when you're talking about people who are a minority, guess what? That minority you're talking about supports voter ID by 81%. When you're talking about defund the police, right? 72% of
African Americans want the same level or more police in their communities, not less. But if you listen to what the media says, you would believe it's entirely different. And this is something close to my heart because for people who haven't been in my Discord or don't know, I was raised in black culture by black people, and my family, the people I consider my family, not my biological family. I know my biological mother. But the people I consider my family are black. Okay? So these are very important issues to me because it's very funny because there's been times I've been out and people have taken it upon themselves to speak for my family on their behalf or to react on their behalf or to come up and apologize for things or just assume that there's a common belief amongst people and that just and they don't get how racist that all black people must have the same opinions and come from the same background and somehow if you're black you somehow magically have to come from a ghetto. There are black people who grow up not in the hood, right? Like, it's so fucking racist. Example, my cousins use the N word, right, with me when they're referring to me. And for me and them, it's a term of inclusion and endearment, okay? Okay? And so, like, my brother and my cousins will be like, they'll come up and say, "Yo, what's up?" Using the word. And I'll be like, nah, I'll return use the word. We were out to dinner, right? Well, I'll do the story real quick and then I'll move on. But we were out to dinner. Now, my cousins, my brother, my family, all of them were there, okay? Full table of very proud black people. Actually, a majority of them graduated from HBCUs, right? And there was a table of 4 white people. Unfortunately, the lady who spoke up had blue hair. I hate to push that narrative, but this blue-haired, pale white chick got upset and started talking about and apologized to them for me feeling that I was allowed to say the N-word, okay, to a black person and how oppressive that was. And she apologizes that I feel it's acceptable to use oppressive language towards them and started talking to me about how I should be ashamed of myself. And my mother disagrees with anybody using the N word, but she lets it go because it's a lost cause. Okay. Um, but my mom looks at these people and is like, first off, how do you know he's not black? And she says, and second of all, do you not see the table of like 13 black people, including 2 guys who were priorly in the like football players at the collegiate and NFL level? Like, if you think they had a problem, you don't think they would stand up and say something? Like, and did you not see the black people talk to him and use the N-word first? Like, where do you get the fuck off? We can speak for ourselves, and if you don't think so, then that's not your place to even have. Like, you don't get to make that decision for us who gets to use a word and who doesn't around us, and then speak for us and apologize on his behalf and the behalf of a race you don't represent. And this lady just turned red in the face and she started trying to argue, and her husband just said, "Babe, we gotta go." And I felt so bad because you could just see he was so embarrassed. Like, just the moment she had opened her mouth, he got real embarrassed. But the thing is that my friend made a great point, and he's like, "Listen, you can't blame them." And I was like, "Why? She was clearly not minding her business, right?" And I was like, they're like, "Listen, you can't. Silence is violence." My in-law. Yeah. Yeah. So so this whole idea that silence is violence, right? So if you don't say something, then you're participating in systematic oppression and systemic violence, right? And allowing that to happen. But if you do say something right, you're then basically forwarding leftist precepts of racism that they don't understand are racist. And so they're screwed if they do, they're screwed if they don't. And it's just a bad situation all around. Talking about it, that lady is big yikes. Like, she know nothing about me. She assumed because of the color of my skin, right? She assumed that I wasn't one of them, right? And that in and of itself is racist, right? to assume that I would feel so comfortable being racist that I would use a term that if you don't know a black person and you're white, yes, you should not use. Okay? To assume that I would use that term in a derogatory and negative manner when there's a whole giant group of African American or black people, as most of them prefer to be called because most of them are not from Africa. Um, Black people, like, and to assume that you need to speak for them, right? Like, I don't get the math, but yeah, it just is what it is. And they used it to me first. Like you sat there and watched them call me the N word. I don't know, man. Exactly. Read the room. That's what my friend said. He was like, he's like, does she not know how to read the room? Like, clearly, clearly, there's something different about this white person who just walked in, and like four people stand up and dap him up and call them the N word. Like, there's something a little odd here. Maybe I should stay in my corner, right? But no, moving forward, my in-law, yo, talk. That's a great, yo. By the way, F's in chat for the Russian armor. That's been caught out by the in-law. Thank you, UK. Man, did you guys see the newest numbers of like how many photographically verified armor pieces they've lost? They've lost them almost 2,600 verified, like armor in total, like up armored vehicles and tanks, etc. 2,600 with the average. It's just jacked, dude. It's jacked. Yeah, so they're getting their asses handed to them. Getting their asses handed to them. It is quite insane, bro. So, anyways, moving forward. So guys, that's pretty much most of the show tonight. It's been great just sitting back, kicking it, talking about random subjects. Next time I need to put the chat up on the screen. But I've sort of been hesitant to do that considering I don't know how strong our auto moderation is. You sure they didn't use paper instead of metal for armor? I mean, you guys do understand that javelins basically sear with exceptional heat through a heat spike through the armor, right? Like you're not going to release that. And the in-law just has a high explosive tip that uses concussive explosion technology to create and pop the top, as we call it now. Yo, the number of the number of tank turrets there just like they tied logs on the first days. Yeah, that's not going to stop. That's not going to stop depleted uranium rounds. It's not going to happen. Or incendiary spikes is another thing there. No, like you can have an incendiary spike without having depleted uranium, but a lot of times, guys, when you hear people talking about depleted uranium is nothing but just when the shell peels back, there's that energy reaction with the depleted uranium. It burns, it heats up, and it pierces straight through, and basically anything inside of it gets fucking fried. And when it goes through the other side, if it pierces all the way through, it creates vacuum, which will suck any like organic matter through a tiny little hole. You're fucked. I would not want to be in a tank, guys. Just to be clear. Like, hats off to tankers. They do some pretty cool shit, and they can fuck you up if you're light infantry. But when you get hit, right, with something that's effective against a tank, like, the ways you die are just horrific. Horrific. So, if you put that chat up on the screen, I'll be more ladylike, I swear. See? And then you want to be any fun, Luna. The whole point, like, you're our dirty entertainment. Like, you give us an excuse to be perverts. It's okay. It's fine. I love talking. The ammo on U.S. tanks is kept in a kind of locker, and the RU-Tech is kept in the turret, at least old tanks. Yeah, so they use an auto-loader system that doesn't allow you to segment away the armor from the shells from the driver and stuff. You can detonate sometimes you can detonate the shells or cause the shells to prematurely detonate without being fired, and the tank can survive because of the way it's sort of shielded in between. Still not likely, but less likely for you to die from that in a U.S. tank. We load our shells, and you have a loader, and basically we use a 19-year-old boy with a strong back to load shells. So yeah. But dude, welcome everybody. How is it going? Oh man, we're up to 9 likes. Hell yeah. Thank you everybody for liking and subscribing. I appreciate all of you. We're small right now, but it's okay. We'll grow eventually. We'll grow eventually. I'm gonna cut this up. I'm not sure how well this one will work cut up, but we're gonna get that way. Don't get cocky. I didn't get cocky. It ain't like I got like 10,000 viewers. I got fucking 13. Okay, but it's better than 0. And I know people who get 0 views, and right now we have 34. So I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it. It works for me. It works for me. Oh man. Let's see what else. Let's see what else is going on. Let's go before we head out, and we're gonna go and we will check out the New York Post. That's right. We've been on the left a little bit. We're going to go over to the right a little bit. Ex-jail boss shot herself as cops closed in on her. Escaped inmate after car chase. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. You guys had 90 grand. Okay, guys, I'm not saying you should ever do this. This is not an instructional video on how to get away from the cops. But let's just be clear. All right, if you're going to commit a felony that you are absolutely guilty as sin of, that you're not going to get out of, okay? And you have close to 100 grand in cash, there's this thing, and it's called identity swapping or identity theft. Doesn't even have to be that. These people are old enough that they could actually get identities that match them that wouldn't be logged for people who are dead. Anybody born before 1972, by the way, guys, usually the death records are not electronic. All you have to do is literally find some illegal immigrants, speak some basic Spanish. Okay, I'm not trying to down anybody. It's just literally how things work. If you pay someone enough, right, and you're with the criminals, so criminals recognize criminals a lot of times. I know this because I have a lot of friends who are criminals, unfortunately. They can hook you up with the people who can provide you an identity. The first thing I would do would go and reconstitute a new identity, right? Change my look, get new ID, get a new name, new birth date, all that good stuff. Like, it's not hard, and it'll cost you maybe 10 grand. And that's for a good one, right? And based off of that, you get your passports, okay? And once you get your passports, you leave the country, okay? And when you get to the new country, you then learn the language, learn the anthem, right? Basic history of the nation, and you pay some poor person for their identity. Okay, they make a lot of money and get to live for 5-6 years without having to worry about anything, and you get to get off scot-free. Like, FBI enters the chat. You know, I mean, but it's just true. You had 100 grand, right? And there's no doubt you're guilty, right? You did this. It's quite clear. It's on video. It's everywhere. There's no way he just walked out of the jail and you didn't show up to your doctor's appointment unplanned. Like, you clearly sold your house days before at way below market value. You took all the money, and so it is rumored she had like $190,000. Like, guys, you want to know the easiest way to get a new ID? Leave your state, go to another state, identify somebody who has a similar age range to you, find out their address, steal their mail. Take that mail, go get a library card with it. Most places allow you to get a library card with proof of address and mail, using mail, okay? Use that library card to then go get a copy of your social security card. Don't actually do this, by the way, guys. It's so many felonies. I'm not advising you to do this. Do not do this. This is illegal as fuck. But if you're going to go on the lam, this is what I would do, okay? Want to be very clear. All right? Take that library card, go get the social security card. Take that social security card along with the mail and go get an ID in a separate state. So go another state down where they most likely have never gotten an ID. Get an ID there, right? 2 pieces of mail, library card, right? Social security card. Boom! Magic. You now have an ID. Take that ID, use it to get around, okay? If you get the federal ID, the one that's like the star ID, right, that allows you to use it to get on flights and stuff, or cross the Canadian border, or the Mexican border, and thank you, NAFTA. Like, it's not rocket science, guys. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Don't do this though. Like, do not. It is a felony. There are multiple felonies in there. I'm sure there's some crimes I don't even know about in there. Don't do this. But if you're going, like these people, I'm just pointing out how dumb they are. They had a considerable amount of money. Okay, you could have paid someone. Hey, you're beater. How about make you a deal? Don't say shit. I'm gonna give you 10 grand for a car that's worth 2. You report it stolen a week later. Let me drive it. So Zach says, from what I read, she did this on the last day before she retired. She was already roots up and ready to roll. Just planned as well as the Russian invasion. You're right. Probably planned as well as the Russian invasion. But I just, guys, it's not. It doesn't even take a lot of planning. It's not hard, right? It takes patience and cunning. Not even cunning. It just takes patience and being willing, knowing and being willing to deal with criminal elements. And clearly, he wasn't the smartest criminal in the first place, right? Most criminals aren't smart, and smart criminals don't get caught, right? As the saying goes. I'm not hearing this. Lol, I'm gonna go get some food. I mean, it's true. What's up, Jim? How you doing? I mean, it's true. Jim, I'm telling people don't do this. I'm just saying, like, yo, if I was these people, this is what I would do, right? So, welcome, Jim. Good to see you, by the way. I think Jim's like in law enforcement or something. I don't remember. I mean, I literally said most criminals aren't smart, and smart criminals don't get caught. Like, it just is what it is. Don't be a criminal in the first place. It's pretty clear. Like, just don't. It's very easy, guys. It's very easy not to be a criminal. Just like I tell people, there's lots of ways to fuck up a relationship. The easiest one not to do is to cheat on your partner. Why? Just don't slip on a dick, or don't be the dick that gets slipped on. Like, very simple, not hard, very easy to avoid. Right? So, uh, this is just crazy though, man. It's just crazy. Um, See, this is what I was talking about with the BLM thing. Like, come on. Phillies fan pleading with girlfriend goes viral thanks to Mets announcer. Chinese secrecy on COVID's origin. Thank U.S. levying tariffs. No. CNN fact checker slams Biden's claim that he reduced federal deficit.
blended years inside Fred Savage's past. Don't really care about. I don't care about any of this, dude. I just don't think anything really happened today, guys. I just don't. I think we basically covered it all. Yep, absolutely, man. Man, shout out inside Staten Island School for Autistic Children. Celebs welcome, not welcome, the 2022 Tony Award nomination. Damn lie. The new White House press secretary 2018 election tweet about stolen Georgia governor race resurfaces. Oh, that's right. They talked about how so they want to get on people about talking about stolen elections, but then the stolen election from 2016 and the 2018 Atlanta one, yeah. So, MMA fighter goes for viral for herpes admission after win. Yeah. U.S. gas prices back near record. Oh, guys, literally, gas is $4.32 for regular. It is $5.67 for a gallon of premium. Brittany living. Oh, sorry, guys. Thank you. Sorry. Oops. Holy shit. Whoa. Photo dump before there was a child inside me. Expected pop start wrote alongside a sizzling hot pic. Convicted child molester sentenced to juvenile facility charged in 2019 robbery. I wasn't even paying attention to what was down there. Customer isn't always right. Hooters waitress reveals sleaziest things customers ask. Are you on the menu? Oh, Lord Jesus. Putin's ex-gymnast mistress reportedly pregnant again. Tinder owner sues Google in last resort to avoid App Store booting. They're talking about kicking... Wait. Why are they talking about kicking Tinder off of the App Store? I'm sorry. This is just... It serves no purpose. It really doesn't affect anyone except Tinder and people who work at Tinder. But I have to understand what Tinder did to possibly get kicked off the App Store. Dating apps matchmaker... Match Group sued Alphabet's Google, calling the action last to prevent Tinder and its other apps from being booted off the Play Store for refusing to share up to 30% of their sales. Oh, this is back on the 30% thing. Yeah, that's right. Yep, Hooters girl living her best life. That's right. Oh, no way. She did a naked photo shoot on the Bali sacred tree. What the fuck? Guys, like, okay, I get it. Instagram models and stuff, I get it. Whatever, do your thing, get your OnlyFans money, but remember, I don't care what you say, it's not a career. It being hot is a blessing, not work, okay? And being able to take pictures and have really horny dudes being willing to pay for them is also not a skill. It's just beta's gonna beta, I guess. Um, but if you're in a foreign country, at least make sure the place that you're doing these things, even though beautiful, make sure it's not a holy or religious site. Okay, please, please, pretty please. Like, just and you wonder why people dislike us. All right. Anyways, so this goes back to it seemed like he was in a lot of pain, and it seems like they were covering something. I think that Putin may have MS or Parkinson's. It's quite possible. So, oh, here it is. Stolen valor. Anti-abortion screaming, "You lose" in viral video. Not a firefighter. FDNY. Um, this is the one where they were screaming, uh, "We will kill the babies." They blocked people from entering for mass. Yep, he was favoring the right side. Yeah, no, absolutely. Putin is gambling that the West will lose interest in Ukraine. Let's prove him wrong. So this is where we have this is like what people are experiencing right now with like war streams dying off, right? And so people have gotten their subs from them and gotten what they wanted out of them, and they're moving on. Like the war stream is actually closing. They're discontinuing their stream. Um, yeah, that's a thing. So let's prove them wrong, guys. Don't let your family and friends and people around you forget that, people are being slaughtered in Ukraine. War fatigue, yes, it's called war fatigue. Well, it's not even that. It's called Americans have exceptionally short attention spans because it's not sexy or doesn't have, tons of explosions going off. Like American wars, bro, like think about it. When we invaded Iraq, y'all remember how much media was coming out? Like we literally like had a camera set up. We sent a camera crew to be like, yeah, let's I want you to show when we start bombing the shit out of them. I want you like this is where we're gonna do it. Here's where it's gonna happen. Make sure you have the camera pointed that way, and you got to see the fireworks, right? That shit ain't happening here, okay? And instant gratification controls us. Yes, Luna, that is correct. I think I agree with that quite often. So I got wasted because I didn't want to do it myself tonight. All right, moving forward. Quintuple threat. Musk aims to boost Twitter's revenue to a whopping 26.4 billion. Ooh, we'll see if he can do that. We'll have a talk about that later. NYC leaders renew call for speed camera control after multiple deadly crashes. Oh, Lord Jesus. All right, now this applies to us. All right, cool. America is all about Mountain Dew and ADHD. ADHD. What is? Oh, ADHD. I think you mean ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It took me a moment. I was like, ADHD? Is that like a fuck is that? No, I get it. I get it. This took me a moment, you bastard. Still love you. Moving on. Man. Oh, damn. Mm. All right, let's see. What participants we got? 2, 3. Yo, Google is off their rockers, man. Off their rockers. Fat Pancake, what's up? Welcome. What's going on? You missed most of the stream, but it'll be restreamable, by the way, guys. So there we go. Make sure to go leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit that button. I appreciate you guys, all the people who liked it. Doctor told me I got 80 of them. God dang right. Do you know that Elon Musk is the father of Amber Heard's baby? I I don't think Amber Heard is pregnant. Yeah. No. We've hit 16, so we know we're getting there. We got a click through rate. Right now, the average view duration is over an hour, which is good. Chat rate's down to 2 from 4, but that's fine. So it's all right. It's all right. She has a 1-year-old. Hold on. Unga was born on April 8th with the support of a surrogate after Heard was told she would never be able to carry her own child. Friends discovered Heard established news via Instagram, where she shared an image of herself with it and revealed the uniqueness of the child's father or sperm donor. However, Radar Online says fans aren't blah 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 blah. Johnny Depp will reportedly question whether the tech billionaire Elon Musk is the father of Amber's child. Elon will be present at the trial as a character spectator for Amber. Johnny also suspects Amber of having affairs with Musk and James actor DeFranco through their yeah. Hold on, was I don't think he ever actually came. Yo, did you see this where he was looking like he got smacked? Yo, he got punched. You could see it right there. Dude got swole the hell up. She beat the shit out of him, in my opinion. That's just me, though. That's all conjecture. I don't actually know that, but yep. And there's another one where he has a black eye too. Like, yo, look at that right there on the side of his face. That's not a kiss imprint. Some knuckles right there, buddy. That one, yo, did you guys see this one? Look at that shiner right there, bud. That's a black eye right there. Eh. No wonder he didn't actually show up to the trial. She beats up Elon Musk. The Depp Heard relationship is a prime example of a toxic relationship. Yeah, it absolutely is. But no matter how toxic a relationship is, it doesn't give you an excuse to hit another person. That's my opinion. What do I know? Let's see. Amber Heard felt nothing for Elon Musk, psychologist said. Well, that has. Yo, can you imagine how damaging that has to be to you as Elon Musk, who's very full of his own ego? That basically a psychologist assessed that Amber was it just basically using him and had no emotional feelings. That had to suck. Ilona into that hardcore shit. That's why I was gonna make a joke towards that, but I don't wanna make light of, beating the shit out of your spouse. It's not acceptable no matter who you are or what sex you are. Period. So oh man. It's just interesting to me, like you have millions of dollars, just walk your own way. Like the moment someone like the moment I don't care if I'm financially dependent on them or not, the moment somebody punches or hits me, I'm out because one, I don't want to get into that level of physical confrontation, right? Because people get hurt at that point and I just don't have time for violence, right? I'm not going to let you continue to hit me. I'm going to try not to strike you if I have any option, but I'm leaving. It ain't happening. We should pair up Hurd and Putin. I don't know, man. I don't know how that will work out. She she'd strike Putin. He might like it a little too much. She'd be like, "That's right. Punish America. They made me look bad." And be a good boy. And the next thing you know, we have nukes flying. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna be a good idea. I'm so fucking wrong. Dude. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. Okay, so neither one of them showed up for the trial. It looks like she dated Elon while trying to reconcile with Johnny Depp. What the fuck? Yeah, I know. I have a way of framing things that make things sound really, really bad. So it's okay. It is what it is. All right.
Oh, we got some stuff going on over here. Oh, I'm bored messing me. By the way, I am bored is putting in some mad work to create our intro or create the reference for our intro. So big shout out to him. We'll have that soon. New backgrounds coming, stuff like that. I got to get all that up and running and all that good stuff. I'm still working on it, guys, but we are slowly but surely, as you guys can maybe tell, the lighting's a little bit better tonight. So, you know, we're getting there, man. We're getting there. Um, it is what it is. I need to, yeah. I'm also working on positioning, mic positioning, and stuff like that. It's a little challenging every once in a while, but we're getting there. So. All right. Well, it's been great, you guys. I appreciate all of you. It is our wrap up time. I just want to close out by saying, just understand that you guys, I just want you to all know every last one of you have intrinsic value just by being alive. Not in what you produce or what you do or what you don't do. Just by being human and being alive, you have value, and don't let anyone else ever take that away from you. Thank you guys for joining the Cardboard Castle. Make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate every last one of you. Thank you to our viewers who gave us an average duration view of over an hour and 5 minutes, which means they watched over half the show. I appreciate and love every last one of you. Thank you so much, and we will catch you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern. You guys have a great night. Salute!